Hey guys, welcome to Jujubee DIY. I'm Sarah. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm bringing you 4 Christmas in July DIYs. I'm joining Corie over at Crafted by Corie for her minis challenge, and this month's theme is Christmas in July. So stay tuned to find out what I made for this challenge. So for our first DIY, we're going to take one of these wood craft cubes from the Dollar Tree and then one of these wood squares that has the little drawer inside. We're going to give this small cube a coat of the Hello Hobby chalk paint in the color Swan. And that is the new Walmart brand of chalk paint. I think it performs just fine. Like, I didn't have any issues with it. It had good coverage, so it worked well for me. And then this is the Waverly Chalk paint in the color Moss. And for the big box, we're going to paint it in the Waverly Chalk paint in the crimson color. I love this red color. It is such a great farmhouse color. It's just beautiful. Next, I'm going to take some scrap paper that was in my stash, and I'm going to cut it down so that it is between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch smaller than my box, so that that paint that we put on there shows. Now, I could give you measurements for this, but you know that Dollar Tree stuff is never exactly the same. You generally can't buy two that are the same exact size of anything. So my best advice is to just measure it out. Give yourself between 1/4 of an inch, or between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. That looks super cute. And so this was the paper that I chose for the medium one and for the large. Next, I'm going to take this lace ribbon. This is stuff that you get at the Dollar Tree. It's just such a fun lace ribbon. And we're just going to hot glue that to the inside of the box so that it doesn't show. And I'm just making sure that it's, tight and in the middle there. And then we're just going to hot glue it on the inside. That way, when it's sitting around, you don't even see the ends. And I'm going to do the same steps for all of the boxes, except the small box obviously doesn't have, a place on the inside to hide those ribbon ends. So I just, hot glued them to the bottom. Next, I'm going to make a pretty easy bow here. I'm just making a loop with my ribbon. And then I'm just going to figure 8 the ribbon back and forth, making it just a teeny tiny bit smaller than the last set of folds. And I'm going to secure the middle with just a little bit of jute twine. Can't think. So yeah, just pull that nice and tight so that it doesn't go anywhere. And then when I cut my ribbon, I left a little tiny bit that I could fold over and hot glue to create like a little center to my bow. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of folding it over and hot gluing that down. And that'll make like a little loop right in the middle there. So I want to create some tails for my bow, so I'm just taking a length of ribbon, doing a diagonal cut on them, and then I will kind of fold it down on itself a little bit so that it's laying nice and flat. And then I'll just hot glue that to the back, and that creates a super cute little tails for your bow. And then I just left that jute twine hanging down as well. I thought that would make really cute decoration, as part of the bow. So then I wanted to add some decorations to the top here, and I dove into my Christmas stuff. These red berries, I think they're supposed to be. I bought them at the Dollar Tree last Christmas season, and they come on like a wire. It's just covered in like floral paper. So here's a look at how this turned out. I think these are just adorable. You could either have them sitting separately or you can stack them up like this, perfect for a tier tray or anywhere you need a little bit of extra decor. Today's challenge is hosted by Corie at Crafted by Corie. She hosts this minis challenge each and every month and changes the theme. If you haven't been over to Corie's channel, I highly suggest you go check her out. Today's challenge also has a playlist, which I will link in my description box down below. Let's get on to the next DIY. Using this bucket that I picked up at Goodwill, I think, I painted it white with some spray paint, and then I'm going to take the Waverly Chalk paint in the color Crimson, and I'm going to dab that along the edge with a makeup sponge. I wanted to give this that enameled look, but with red for Christmas. So I'm just dabbing that paint right on the rims. Next, I'm going to take a fine paintbrush and I'm going to create those enamel spots that you see. Next, I created this cutout from my Cricut, and it says Farm Fresh Christmas Trees Cut and Carry. And I'm just applying that right to the front of this little bucket. Next, I'm going to take some of this baker's twine. This is stuff you get from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to wrap the handles of this bucket with the twine. Here's a look at how this turned out. I think this is just perfectly adorable. I didn't have any of those small Christmas trees, but this would be really fun to put one of those little tiny Christmas trees that you get at the Dollar Tree, or as I've got here, just some garland and decoration. For our next DIY, we're going to take some wood blocks. These were just blocks that I had left over in my stash from another project, and they happen to be just the perfect size for faux books. So I'm just going to wrap these up just like a Christmas present, and I'm going to do 2 in red and 1 in black. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell and notification for all so that you don't ever miss a new upload from me. I cut out these ho-ho-hos on white vinyl, and I'm just going to transfer them over to each one of the books, so they'll go right in a line along the one side or the other. And then I'm going to add this belt buckle to the black book there, or faux book, if you will. So next I'm going to decorate my stack of books here, and I'm just going to add some of this buffalo check ribbon. This was a clearance find at Michael's last year at the end of Christmas, and I got a huge roll for a really good price. So I'm just going to use some of that, and then I'll use the red and white gingham ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to add this little bundle of, you know, Christmas decor on the top there. And I'm going to make a bow with this lace ribbon. And I'm just going to hot glue all that right onto the top. And look at how cute this is. I just love these. I think these are perfect for a tier tray. Or again, a little shelf or anywhere you need a little bit of extra decor. For our last DIY, we're going to take one of these little lanterns. I picked this up from the wedding section at Walmart, and I think I paid less than $2 for it. They're really cute, and they just hold a little tea light inside. I'm going to take the lid and the handle off for now, and I'm going to take a piece of vellum. You can get this at any craft store in their paper section, and I'm going to cut out 4 pieces that I can put on the inside of my lantern here. Next, I'm going to use my embossing machine. This is a little embossing machine that I've had for a long time. And then this embossing folder, which I think looks like snow falling kind of. I'm going to emboss my vellum sheets with this embossing folder. And this embossing machine is just a crank embosser, so I just run it through forward and then come back and it embosses it perfectly. And doesn't that look like snow falling? So I'm going to take my precision craft glue. This is by Waverly Art, and I'm going to just run a bead of glue right along the edges of my vellum, and then I'm going to adhere that to the inside of my lantern. So I wanted to give you an alternative to the embossing machine. All you need is a little piece of foam. You can grab the foam squares from the Dollar Tree, this stylus, which you can also get from the Dollar Tree, and you just lightly poke on it and it'll emboss those little circles right onto your vellum. Next, we're going to take a piece of this garland. This was like their 12-foot garland or whatever it is that they sell at the Dollar Tree every year. And I just cut off a little bit. And I'm going to give it a haircut because that Dollar Tree garland is a little too furry for me. I'm just going to wrap that around the top there, and then I'm using some of this decor scatter. I don't know, I guess that's what it's called, from the Dollar Tree. It came after Christmas, and so it's been out probably since spring or so. I'm just going to glue some of this. This was like some of that berry garland. They had like a bit of that berry garland in there, and then they had lots of little tiny pine cones and these little white, I don't know what they are, but they're really cool. They look like they were like berry or I don't know, maybe something. And so I just hot glued a few pine cones there and a little bit of some berries just to give it a little pop of color there. And here is a look at how this turned out. I think this is really darling. I think this would be perfect in a bathroom. I've got fairy lights on the inside so it can light up, and I don't know, I think this might be my favorite. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below which one was your favorite. And guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to you next time. Have a happy, healthy, and blessed day. Bye!